Right, hey, how's it going? So week 2 of the road to Cape Point. Interesting week because this last Saturday we went up to Mossel Bay for my first ever Cape Champs. So quite a bit actually happened this week in Lifesaving. I really wanted to do some sort of deep dive into different events, which I think I'm going to work into, just because I'm going to say a couple things now discussing the events that I did that I'm assuming most of you won't know what they are. So at some point I want to do a deep dive into every event: flags, sprints are self-explanatory, board rescue, taplin, to, these words that won't make sense to someone who doesn't do life-saving. So stay tuned for that. Definitely subscribe, like the video, share with your friends, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so just a quick recap on this last week. Then I want to talk about Mossel Bay and the Cape Champs, and then I'll talk about the plan for the future, because very interesting champs, first time competing in 3 years. I'm quite sore even 2 days afterwards. But anyway, so Monday morning I did a swim session, about 1.6. Monday evening I did a board session in a nice 25 knots southeaster, which is lacquer. Just get back on the board, learn to catch some waves again, which was awesome. Tuesday morning I took a surf ski lesson for some people, I can't remember, but I did that. Then Tuesday evening I did a board session. Wednesday AM I did a beach session. That was my first beach session in a long time, working on some starts, working on some strength stuff, and immediately regretted it. My hamstrings were so sore, my quads were sore. It just reminded me so much, like, being able to sprint and being able to do short, like high intensity races is so much more about conditioning and strength than about fitness. Because I still feel like I'm relatively fit. When I talk about Mossel Bay, I guess I'm not as fit as I want to be, but I'm not well conditioned. So it hurts to be able to do the fastest I can, which is definitely, again, going to be a big lesson moving forward to work on that. Thursday I took off because I was so sore from my 25-minute beach session. And then I was going up on Friday, so I took Thursday off. And then Friday morning I did a downwind with a client, 70-year-old guy in the back of a double. And it was a lot of work getting him back in. So that was my training for the day. And then Friday afternoon we drove up, and Saturday we competed. So on Saturday was the Cape Champs, which is hosted in Mossel Bay, which is kind of like not a very serious, obviously we try win, but it's not as serious as maybe like a Western Province Champs, which is a little bit more on the LSA, like roster or whatever. So went up, was great. Had a team. We took a team of juniors. Now usually this event is only for seniors. Now juniors is under 19, under 17, under 15. Open is everyone over 19. So usually it's a senior and open event only, but we took a team of juniors up just because from a club perspective, Fisher Surf is kind of like really wanting to invest in the juniors and create more of a team vibe that we've kind of been lacking over the years, and re-establish ourselves in that area. What happened? So Friday on the drive up, as we do, mate and I, we split a crate of beer on the drive up, which means that there were a lot of stops on the way. But obviously I wasn't driving. But yeah, got a nice little level on the drive up there. Ended up drinking the whole day. So waking up on Saturday morning was interesting. And the first event I did was board rescue, and I took this guy Josh Smith, and we're both like over, well, I think he's like 78 and I'm 80, and we ended up getting absolutely smoked on the paddle back in. Now board rescue is an event where a swimmer races to a can. When he reaches the can, he raises his arm, and then the board paddler races after him. So Josh had a phenomenal swim, came second. I had a fine board paddle, I kept second, but on the way back in we just got smoked by the guys that had been doing it together. So we ended up missing out on getting to the finals on that event. Then my next event was ski, and now I'm pretty, like, I'm still like relatively paddling fit from Cape Point, which was great. Ended up having like first time doing a sprint start in a long time. Ended up absolutely smashing it, and got to the apex can first. And now I hadn't had breakfast, and I think I was still a little bit drunk, if I'm completely honest with myself. And ended up, it's a bit embarrassing, but ended up semi-chundering on the way back in. I I'd gone so hard and so flat out on the way out because I wanted to see how fast I could go. And I ended up starting chundering on the way back in, and ended up becoming second because of that, unfortunately. But yeah, it is what it is. So that was a bit of interesting. I got fined for it at the end of it, but it was a lot of fun after I recovered. And then I believe it was Taplin, did ski for Taplin this time, did in Chunder. I was quite proud of myself. And then sprints and flags. So I was really nervous for the sprint for some reason. I usually get like quite hectic nerves, but I knew when I got to the line that I had no pace, I had no speed, I had no strength, and it definitely reflected. I was dropped like I haven't been dropped in a sprint, I think, ever in my entire life. I've never been so absolutely dropped in a sprint race as I was in that race. And there's a video of me just laughing as I'm running to the end, just because I'm like 2 meters behind everyone. And it was humbling, but I scored 1 point, and that's the important thing, is I supported my team. So that was cool. I mean, it wasn't cool, it was horrendously embarrassing, but it is what it is. So definitely going to focus on some sprint conditioning, focus on the quads, focus on some fast twitch stuff. I've only been doing long distance. So I really want to like now shorten the sessions, focus on that 30-second burst, all that kind of thing. I didn't do board. I didn't take my board up, and I was frankly quite nervous too, but there's another competition this Saturday, so I guess we'll see how I'm doing when I do that one. And then I did flags. And our flag is a race where you lie down and you have to jump and spin and sprint 20 meters and grab a little baton in the ground. It's quite aggressive. I ended up getting absolutely winded, but there's quite an epic shot of me diving to get a baton and trying to like maneuver myself to knock someone else out of the way, which is quite cool. So yeah, and then that was really, I think those were my events. And then I did obviously the team events, so then tube. There were no relays besides Taplin. I didn't do Ironman because I threw up in the ski race. I'm not going to be able to do an Ironman. So yeah, so the lessons were basically, I need a lot more conditioning. I'm not as young as a spring chicken as I used to be. Lifesaving requires a lot of specialist work just with regards to conditioning and strength that I'm definitely going to work into the schedule moving forward. I've also decided that I want to focus on sprints and board. Maybe not sprint so much, but definitely board and ski, because there might be an opportunity to make the world's team. I've never really gone for it because it was always a money thing for me, and yeah, it seemed like I could never do it, so I never really tried. But I think maybe I'll try this year. I haven't completely decided yet, so I'm not going to hold myself to that. But you know, who knows, if I'm going, why not go the best I can? And that's kind of my thought process. So when I make a final decision, I think I'll decide. But I'm leaning towards it. And then it was the after party, which was phenomenally interesting. Just joining with everyone. Yeah, you know what happens at Cape Champs stays at Cape Champs. But yeah. But at the end of it, it was really fantastic going with the team. Had a couple of great chats with just some of the other seniors, just realizing we're all on the same page. We all want the same thing for the sport. We all want the same thing for the team. And then also just reconnecting with a lot of my mates that I haven't seen in ages because we only see each other for Lifesaving, and just really touching base with them. And yeah, being excited to do it again, which is really, really cool. It's really cool to feel this passionate about a sport. I'm excited to do it. So yeah. I really wanted to film a couple like really cool shots and have like this montage thing, but I realized I have no idea what I'm doing with the camera, as you can tell by my phenomenal setup. And secondly, running around with the phone on the beach while trying to compete is interesting. So maybe in this next one, I'm gonna ask someone to have my phone and that kind of thing. I know Mark had a couple of fantastic GoPro shots, so he's gonna make something with that. But I will aspire to be better at visual communication through video, but right now I'm still learning to a curve. But yeah, fantastic weekend away. I'm super excited for the season, and yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards doing SA Champs, which was still kind of a debate for me. And now the question is really whether I want to try for the world's team or not. But yeah, this week I'm going to do a swim session. I really want to focus more on conditioning and strength. So focus on board, focus on maybe a bit of ski starts, I don't know. but sprints, board, and then some swimming for fitness. And then this weekend is a comp. So I might take Friday off, do the comp Saturday, and then try do an Ironman the next day, just because that's phenomenal training, and then get into the next week. But yeah, that's how it's looking. The competition's in Old Millerton, which is cool. But yeah, anyway, that's the update. Stay tuned for more videos. I would like to maybe try and make a video this week just explaining one event, and then do that alongside these weekly vlogs. Yeah, that's the plan. Anyway, cool. Have a good day, week, year in life. I'm gonna go to my afternoon session now. But yeah, I'll get this video out. Cheers. Have a good one.